Okay, this walkthrough is going to be for the sidewalk scope for Glenbrook Mall. So as the same situation happens for the parking lots, Glenbrook Square Mall is what we would call a zero tolerance. So any chance of precipitation, freezing, or snow that creates slick conditions needs to be dealt with, either salting, de-icing, or plowing, shoveling off and follow-up salting. But when discussing the sidewalks, there's a lot of sidewalks here, a lot of components to it. Historically, if we're doing service in the middle of the night, the guys start here at TGI Fridays. They work their way around like a clock, taking care of all these walks up to the last entrance back there. And of course McMahon's. We don't want to forget McMahon's. We're starting at 1, 2 a.m. That's no problem, assuming everything can get done and salted by 7 a.m. The RTV is a great tool to do the salting. It can do some of the plowing. Most of it needs to be done with the mowers and by hand. So I think we'll go over, starting in this area, to discuss sidewalks, any unique situations. So TGI Fridays, here's the line, the cutoff. This is the mall. Everything to the east here, sorry, west, is Sears. So the sidewalk up to this main entrance, this gets taken care of. This, which is fenced in, but this outdoor dining area, we don't touch. Not necessary. Plow in front of these overhead doors. We need to go inside this service door and clean the walk here and clean around the dumpsters. I think there's even a door here. Dumpsters and trash compactors. These little side employee entrances are just as key as our main entrances for customers. They have to be clean and safe too, because employees will inevitably slip and fall if it's not taken care of. Barnes & Noble in front of here, like here's a situation, that RTV, it'll fit real nicely up to about there, and then it can pop back on and take care of this too. That RTV will do some good work getting these walks clean. And then of course, when that RTV can jump down in the road and then push that snow away from the curb, just one pass. Getting 1.5 passes with that RTV, getting that snow row to sit about here versus up on the edge, that's what allows us to get the nice clean look. The loaders, they'll come by, pick this up, and they won't throw it back on the sidewalks. So getting and creating that distance, that buffer zone, where you're pushing this snow row, and it's out here now when you're plowing it. That distance is what creates that good look. So swing around the corner. There's a little employee entrance here. Loading dock. Here's those trash compactors. The walkway does go around, but we need to get down the middle and salt. Then we swing over around TGI Fridays. A little walk here. This is a small little walk. Needs to be done with the mowers. RTV can come up here and do a little bit. It's kind of cumbersome. You're kind of jumping on and off the curb. But this is Red Robin and the main mall entrance. But here upstairs Macy's, that RTV does a pretty good job from about here around. You can kind of go back and forth and get the bulk of the snow off. Like I said, they're still going to have to do hand work, but there's a little back sort of nook here, needs to be taken care of. There's a somewhat of a sidewalk here. This really does not need to be taken care of. It's not really a sidewalk. So that can be just left snow covered. We don't need to waste our time. Macy's, see, this is pretty easy. RTV works great down here. Just big open sidewalks. All this sidewalk area, then all in front of Macy's. Just cast it right off into the parking lot, push it away from the curb. Upstairs Macy's, this area here, there is a walkway that leads back to a door. So don't forget that little nook. Little small walk here. There's usually security vehicles parked here, so we need to clean as best as we can. There's obviously vehicles in the way. It's not our responsibility to have every square inch clean. So here's a loading dock. Another entrance or exit for employees to take care of garbage. So we have a walkway that goes behind and in between. Needs to be cleaned and salted. Then this entrance to the mall, I have called it the post office entrance because I think the post office is in here. There's mailboxes right here. But we have these small walks that lead here, and then an entrance in front of the mall. So you can see the RTV could probably do a little bit of work here to ease the handwork. Walkways that lead to some sort of side service doors and fire exits. Those the mowers have to take care of. JCPenney upstairs, another big walk. RTV could do a lot of this. Downstairs, JCPenney, RTV could do a lot of this. It means you're jumping up on the curb, so you got to be careful how it's done so we're not popping tires, but it can be done. Oops. Small walk here to the side of JCPenney. That has to be done with the mowers or by hand. Little walk that leads to a back door there. Don't forget about that. And the RTV can actually help with this whole curve here. And in front of the food court and Carson's. It's a big enough area. If you do it nice and slowly, RTV can push quite a bit of it off. Still have to come back and do some detail work, but it can be done. And then really this whole sidewalk ring around upstairs, Carson's, and this back mall entrance, a lot of it can be done with the RTV. Start here, go all the way around. I mean, all this can be done with the RTV. You're not going to be able to get up close to the building. There's an entrance here, an entrance here. It's going to be hard to maneuver here, but a lot of it can be done. And then your final back entrance to the mall, sort of a large square plaza, and then this is the cutoff. This is where the mall stops, that line. So what I've discussed is really just the entrances, any little unique things to consider for the mall. And when we first started, we talked about the conventional way that we service the account. Now, when that doesn't work is during the day when it's snowing. We cannot start here and expect to service all these entrances while it continually snows, and what's going to happen when we get back to TGI Fridays? It's going to be covered. So in those events where snow is coming down fast enough that salt will not keep it melted, we need to do a sort of a 3 or 4 sided approach, which means 2 or 3 guys kind of per side that focus primarily on entrances, main doors, keeping those shoveled, clean, and salted. That's those events where it's just snowing and we can't keep up. Maybe there's, let's say, 5-6 inches in a day. But we need to have that approach where we're, putting a crew that takes care of, let's say, those 4 entrances. Maybe another crew takes care of downstairs. They take care of this little side entrance here, the food court, Carson's, and then another one that takes care of Carson's, mall entrance. So that has to be done to keep those things constantly clean, so that at no time is there ever half inch of snow reaccumulated on those points. So that means doing a lot of shovel and hand work. Only right here, keeping this clean. Don't even focus on this right away. You can come back and do that later. This whole front side, yeah, it probably all needs to be done. But this little side here, don't worry about that when we're dealing with snow in the middle of the day. Red Robin, you probably want to start about here and just clear this whole front area in front of Macy's. But that approach where there's more than one guy helps keep the areas clean. And then probably the RTV going around and handing out salt, using the salter itself. I think probably what needs to happen is each one of these core guys needs to have a bucket of salt. So that way doorways and handicap ramps are always kept clean. These big areas here, once it's shoveled and cleaned off, the RTV could salt it, one suggestion. But you just need to keep in mind of the time of day, especially at Glenbrook, most importantly, because that's going to determine what type of service we give. So that reflects, obviously, on all the other sides too. Maybe there's one guy that just takes care of, a couple guys takes care of down here. Just got to be able to make sure entrances are kept clean. So that's the walkthrough for the sidewalks at Glenbrook Mall.